What's going on, Lakers Nation? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your #1 destination for everything purple and gold. I'm bringing you the latest breaking news, insider information, and the most comprehensive analysis on our Los Angeles Lakers every single day. If you're a die-hard Lakers fan who needs to stay connected to every move this organization makes, you're in the right place. Today, I've got something absolutely massive to discuss with you, something that could fundamentally change the trajectory of this entire season and potentially deliver us another championship banner to hang in the rafters at Crypto.com Arena. Trust me when I say you need to stick around for every second of this video, because the information I'm about to share with you is going to blow your mind. Let me start by painting the picture of where we are right now as a franchise. The Lakers are sitting pretty at 17 wins and 6 losses, officially claiming the #2 spot in the Western Conference standings after that absolutely electric victory over the Philadelphia 76ers on Sunday night. That game was everything we love about Lakers basketball. 112-108, coming down to the wire, our guys executing when it mattered most, and showing the entire league that we're legitimate contenders this season. We've won 9 of our last 11 games, and the momentum we're building right now is undeniable. The energy around this team is different than it's been in years, and you can feel it every time they step on that court. Our big three has been absolutely sensational. Austin Reeves has transformed into the player we all knew he could become, showing all-star level production night after night. Luka Doncic has seamlessly integrated into our system since we acquired him back in February, bringing that elite playmaking and scoring ability that makes defenses collapse. And of course, LeBron James continues to defy Father Time at an age where most players are thinking about retirement. The King is still doing King things, leading this team with the experience and basketball IQ that only comes from 2 decades of dominance at the highest level. These 3 players have given us a foundation that can compete with anyone in the league on any given night. But here's the thing that I want you to really understand. As good as we've been, as impressive as this 17-6 record looks, and as much fun as it's been watching this team gel together, we're still one move away. One blockbuster transaction away from elevating our championship aspirations to a level we haven't seen since the Bubble Championship in 2020. The front office knows this. Rob Pelinka knows this. LeBron knows this. And most importantly, the players know this. We need that one more piece that transforms us from a really good team into an unstoppable juggernaut that can steamroll through the Western Conference playoffs and bring home Banner 18. Now, when you start talking about available superstars who could potentially be on the move this season, there's one name that towers above all the rest: a 2-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, an NBA champion, a once-in-a-generation athletic specimen who combines size, skill, and versatility in ways we've rarely seen in the history of basketball. I'm talking about someone who can guard all 5 positions, run the floor like a gazelle despite being nearly 7 feet tall, and dominate games on both ends of the court with an intensity that's absolutely breathtaking to witness. The Milwaukee Bucks are struggling right now. They're not living up to expectations. The chemistry isn't there. The results aren't coming. And when a franchise with championship aspirations starts to falter, that's when things get interesting. That's when players start to question their situation. That's when front offices start to have difficult conversations about the future. And that's exactly what's happening in Milwaukee right now with their franchise cornerstone. Last Thursday, Lou Canellis from Fox 32, Chicago dropped an absolute bombshell on 670. The score radio that sent shockwaves through the entire NBA landscape. He stated, and I'm going to quote this directly because it's that important. "I can tell you this for a fact. A few months ago, Giannis wanted to be traded. His first choice, New York with the Knicks. Now, that alone would be massive news, but it gets even better for us Lakers fans." Canellis continued, explaining that the Knicks wouldn't move off their position would not offer more than just Karl Anthony Towns in any potential package, and it just wasn't going to work with the Milwaukee Bucks if they're going to give up their superstar. But here's where it gets absolutely insane for us. Canellis then revealed something that should have every single Lakers fan on the edge of their seat right now. He said, "I can tell you that the Lakers inquired, and Luka Doncic himself inquired, trying to see if the Lakers could work out a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks." Let that sink in for a moment. Luka Doncic himself, our newest superstar acquisition, personally reached out to explore the possibility of bringing Giannis Antetokounmpo to Los Angeles. That's not the front office making calls. That's not agents working behind the scenes. That's our star player actively recruiting and trying to make something happen, because he understands what this move would mean for our championship chances. Think about what this tells us. It tells us that Luka is all in on winning in Los Angeles. It tells us he's not satisfied with just being good. He wants to be great. He wants to win championships, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. It also tells us that there's genuine interest from both sides here. Giannis wants out of Milwaukee because, as Canellis specifically mentioned, Giannis wants to leave because he wants to win. And where better to win than in Los Angeles, playing alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic in front of the most passionate fan base in all of basketball. Now, let's talk about the feasibility of actually making this happen. The Lakers reportedly have the best asset for a trade involving the 30-year-old NBA champion, and that asset is Austin Reaves. I know that's going to be a tough pill for some of you to swallow because we all love Austin. He's homegrown talent. He's developed right before our eyes. He represents everything we love about players who come in with a chip on their shoulder and prove everyone wrong. But we have to be realistic here. If you have the opportunity to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo, a two-time MVP who's still in his prime, you have to seriously consider it regardless of what you have to give up. The Lakers have shown they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep Luka Doncic happy since acquiring him in February. They signed Marcus Smart in free agency to give us that defensive tenacity and veteran leadership we desperately needed. They brought in DeAndre Ayton to shore up our interior presence and give us a legitimate rim protector who can also contribute offensively. These weren't small moves. These were significant investments designed specifically to give Luka the supporting cast he needs to compete for championships. So the question becomes, would the Lakers continue that trend even if it meant sacrificing a future All-Star in Austin Reaves? I think the answer is yes, and here's why. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a once-in-a-lifetime type of athlete. He's already proven he can be the best player on a championship team. He's won MVP awards. He's dominated playoff series. He's done everything you could possibly ask a superstar to do in this league. And most importantly, he's only 30 years old, which means he's got several more years of elite-level production ahead of him. When you have the chance to add that caliber of player to a team that already features LeBron James and Luka Doncic, you don't hesitate. You pull the trigger, and you figure out the rest later. Imagine for a second what our starting lineup would look like with Giannis in purple and gold. You'd have LeBron James orchestrating the offense with his unparalleled basketball IQ. You'd have Luka Doncic breaking down defenses with his elite playmaking and scoring ability, and you'd have Giannis Antetokounmpo as this unstoppable force who can attack the rim, defend multiple positions, and impact winning in ways that very few players in NBA history ever have. That's not just a big three. That's a super team. That's a collection of talent that would immediately make us the favorites to win the championship this season. The defensive versatility alone would be absolutely ridiculous. Giannis can guard power forwards and centers with his length and athleticism. LeBron, even at his age, can still lock in defensively when it matters. Add Marcus Smart into the mix with his perimeter defense, and suddenly you've got a team that can switch everything, protect the rim, and make life absolutely miserable for opposing offenses. On the offensive end, the spacing and playmaking would be off the charts. You'd have three players who can create their own shot, make plays for others, and score from anywhere on the court. How do you game plan for that? How do you stop that? The answer is you probably can't. I know some of you are thinking about the financial implications and the draft capital we'd have to give up to make this happen. Those are legitimate concerns. A trade of this magnitude would likely require multiple first-round picks in addition to Reeves and potentially other young assets. It would limit our flexibility moving forward and tie us to this core for the next several years. But here's my counter-argument to that. We have LeBron James right now. He's not getting any younger. This is our window. This is the time to go all in and maximize our chances of winning another championship while we still have arguably the greatest player of all time on our roster. The Lakers organization has never been afraid to make bold moves. We traded for Anthony Davis and won a championship. We've consistently been willing to mortgage the future for present success because that's what championship organizations do. They recognize their windows and they attack them aggressively. This is one of those moments where being aggressive could pay off in ways that define the next era of Lakers basketball. We're not rebuilding. We're not developing young talent for some distant future. We're trying to win right now, and adding Giannis Antetokounmpo would give us the best chance to do exactly that. Let's also talk about the fit from a personality and leadership standpoint. Giannis is known as one of the hardest working players in the league. He's humble. He's team-oriented. He's not looking for individual accolades or attention. He just wants to win basketball games, which is exactly the type of mentality that thrives in a Lakers uniform. He'd fit seamlessly into the culture that LeBron has established here. There wouldn't be any ego clashes or chemistry issues. It would just be three elite players who understand their roles and are committed to the ultimate goal of hanging another banner. The timing of all this is fascinating, too. We're approaching the mid-season mark, which is typically when blockbuster trades start to materialize. Teams have had enough time to evaluate their rosters and figure out if they're contenders or pretenders. Milwaukee clearly falls into the pretender category right now, and if they continue to struggle, the pressure to make a change is only going to intensify. Giannis has given that franchise everything. He's been loyal. He's delivered a championship. But if the roster around him isn't good enough and the direction of the franchise isn't where it needs to be, at some point you have to prioritize your own career and your own legacy. For Giannis, coming to Los Angeles would give him the opportunity to add to his championship resume, play with other superstars who can lighten his load, and compete for titles for years to come. For the Lakers, it would give us that missing piece we've been searching for, that dominant two-way player who can impact winning at the highest level. It's a win-win scenario that makes too much sense not to happen if the opportunity presents itself. Now, I want to be clear about something. Nothing is guaranteed here. These are complex negotiations involving multiple teams, massive contracts, and significant assets. There are a million things that could prevent this from happening. Milwaukee could decide they're not ready to move on from Giannis. Other teams could enter the bidding and drive up the price. The Lakers might decide that the cost is too high, even for a player of Giannis's caliber. But the fact that conversations have already happened, the fact that Luka himself has been involved in exploring this possibility, tells me this is more than just speculation. This is real. This is something that could actually materialize if all the pieces fall into place. As Lakers fans, this is exactly the type of news we live for. This is why we follow every transaction, every report, every whisper coming out of the organization. Because when you're a Lakers fan, you're always one move away from something special. We've seen it happen time and time again throughout our franchise's storied history. We've seen legends come to Los Angeles and cement their legacies. We've seen championships won through bold moves and aggressive roster construction. And we could be on the verge of seeing it happen again with Giannis Antetokounmpo. So here's what I need from you. I need you to understand the magnitude of what we're discussing here. I need you to wrap your head around the possibility that we could be adding a two-time MVP to a team that's already 17-6 and sitting in second place in the Western Conference. I need you to imagine what March and April could look like with LeBron, Luka, and Giannis leading this team into the playoffs. Because if this happens, we're not just contenders, we're overwhelming favorites. We're the team that everyone else is trying to figure out how to beat. Before we wrap this up, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Lakers should go all in for Giannis, even if it means trading Austin Reeves? Are you comfortable giving up multiple first-round picks for a chance to win a championship right now? How do you think Giannis would fit alongside LeBron and Luka? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below because I read every single one and I love having these conversations with you guys. This is what being a Lakers fan is all about. Debating the moves, discussing the possibilities, and dreaming about championship parades down Figueroa Street. And listen, if you want to stay on top of every development in this potential Giannis situation, if you want to be the first to know when news breaks about trades, signings, or any other Lakers-related information, you absolutely need to subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and give this video a thumbs up if you're as excited as I am about the possibility of Giannis in a Lakers uniform. We're here every single day bringing you the content you need to stay informed and connected to your favorite team. This is Lakers News Fan Report, and we'll see you in the next one. Go Lakers!